This critical message is by the emergency alert system.
The U.S. government has issued a national emergency for the continental United States. There have been multiple sightings of more than a dozen unidentified objects of...
No way! No way!
These unidentified suspended objects are around 1,400...
You're
stone-like...
No!
I told him!
No,
I told him! Did you see the national emergency alert? UFOs. Oh my God, Florida's one of the danger zone rating map. Put CNN on national emergency government. Would you videotape that? If you witness any strange objects and you must leave the place immediately, contact the national emergency.
We're being invaded.
UFO description: 1,400 feet long, stone-like material. What the is it?
Oh my
Is
God.
this CNN for real?
Oh no! Read the title. I'll read the title. Read the title.
You got me, mother. I thought it was for real.
Soon, the government will be pranking us in the same way. And you're not going to want to go to CNN when that happens. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org. And there's a lot of absolutely crazy and wild news to get into today. As, of course, there are shifting economic alliances that signal trouble for the U.S. petrodollar, all as elections in Europe turned out to shock the establishment to its core, signaling some larger changes here to the United States, which will favor Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, as it looks like there's going to be a larger revolution out there. What's going to be happening, as it does look like we have some good news for the free market and digital online currencies. What does this mean for you? Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Atlas is already in her co-host spot. Good job. Thank you. So, I don't think she even noticed. Atlas, here, treat. Good job. Every person that subscribes, Atlas gets one new treat. As, of course, the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast shows a young man pranking his mother in an absolutely dastardly, hilarious way. As whoever this young man is, please let me know so we could attribute them correctly down in the description below. But it does highlight the power of mass media and how this could not only happen in the future, but this actually did happen before with larger psychological projects, officially and unofficially ran by the U.S. government. As during this election year, we could expect the unexpected, as there's a lot of crazy things happening internationally, specifically when it comes to the larger shifting of alliances regarding Turkey, that according to all the latest news reports is now getting closer and closer to Eastern-backed countries like China and Russia, and might officially be joining BRICS soon. This as the Turkish foreign minister recently met with the delegation from Russia, as China is also looking to, of course, establish more ties with Turkey to, quote, take on global power politics. This as the larger financial wars keep heating up, as Russia is doubling down on its de-dollarization, according to Yahoo Finance, as the president of Russia has just declared that he's going to be helping reduce the use of, quote, toxic currencies, as Russia just literally sent their warships to Cuba just a few hours ago, reigniting the Cuban Missile Crisis of the 21st century, as the Russian warships and a nuclear submarine have just arrived to Havana, Cuba, signaling some significant geopolitical pressures and escalations that will only be growing from here. This as the New York Post is also reporting today that Henry Dent, a top financial author, is predicting a crash of a lifetime worse than 2018, describing a situation with the American economy where a bubble has been, quote, growing for 14 years, which soon he expects to pop, and when it does, some larger financial pain and suffering will be dealt to the rest of the American people. As soon, we might be even facing major layoffs at CNN, as the alleged news network just inked a deal with the Associated Press, as it's important to note that they have been some of the major biggest supporters of leftist liberal policies that have been printing money out of thin air and implementing a lot of woke policies that more and more intervene in people's lives, while at the same time destroying any kind of economic prospects out there. And that could be one reason out of many reasons why there was a major political shift that just happened in Europe during their local elections, as the French President Emmanuel Macron just called for snap elections after a major surge of populist right-wing politicians in his country that won a significant portion of Europeans' parliament elections, as the shift predominantly was felt in France, but also in places like Germany. As CNBC News is reporting that now pressure is growing on the German chancellor after the, quote, far right won in his country, with the AfD making, quote, substantial gains in the European Union elections on Sunday, as there was a, quote, green vote collapse, and with it, Europe's climate ambitions, which are now thrown into doubt. And now with Europe moving towards a right-wing populist form of government now, this highlights a very interesting situation in the Western world for the United States to particularly move in the same direction. And with it comes some new economic opportunities, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, which brings me to the sponsor of this video. And that, of course, is DeFi, a parent company of Valor Inc. As this company came to me and said, hey, do you guys want to work with us? And I was like, hell yeah, as of course it's a win-win for everyone here, especially with the changing, shifting political tides in this country, which highlights a really bright future for crypto and Bitcoin, as the writing is on the wall there, and it's pretty clear here. And if you have a trading account, you should definitely check out DeFi, as they're officially working with us. They're a really interesting company, and they do some really cool things in the space, especially when it comes to pioneering and bridging the gap of traditional finance in the crypto world. And that's why when they offered us an opportunity to work with them, automatically I said, yep, let's do it. And that's why this video is sponsored by them. As CNBC News is also reporting that Bitcoin could reach $150,000 if Donald Trump wins the presidency. This according to the Standard Chartered. As there is a crypto battle being waged for the White House right now, as Bitcoin Magazine now is spearheading a major effort to support Donald Trump in his larger re-election bid, as Donald Trump is becoming more pro-Bitcoin than ever, as he would now be the first ever pro-crypto U.S. president, following the lead of other world leaders like Bukele, the president of El Salvador that became the world's first Bitcoin president, who now is also backing Donald Trump, as Donald Trump now has made many declarative statements, specifically declaring deregulation, self-custody, no central bank digital currencies, and standing up for a true decentralized market where people could innovate and invest without worrying about the government cracking down on them.
I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody. To the nation's 50 million crypto holders, I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
This being one of many declarative statements made by Donald Trump, as of course Silicon Valley investors now are shifting away from Joe Biden, who, according to many accounts, has a very hostile stance on crypto, and in my opinion has been waging a full all-out war on it. As of course, if you look at the actions by Joe Biden, as even highlighted by Bitcoin Magazine, that describes how he hates Bitcoin, all the regulatory efforts, all the efforts to crack down, crash Bitcoin, something that Barack Obama called a Swiss bank account in people's pockets, provides us a very interesting election year where Bitcoin and crypto companies could be deciding the future of it. And that's one reason out of many reasons why I decided to work with DeFi. As of course, they not only have a lot of interesting projects working here inside of the United States, but also outside of it, which for them highlights a win-win situation no matter who is the president of the United States. As they are a publicly traded company that is innovating in the crypto space, particularly in the region less affected by draconian regulations, as you can buy shares of DEFTF from any traditional brokerage sites, as even if Joe Biden wins the presidency and continues to be very draconian on crypto, more of these businesses will go to Europe, which is exactly what DeFi is capitalizing on. If Donald Trump wins, there's going to be mass adoption of crypto, which is great for, of course, this company. The company also has some very interesting advisors like Anthony Pompliano, a big name in crypto who's bullish on DeFi technologies, as he's also a shareholder and runs a crypto research company that is owned by DeFi. As the involvement of Valor Incorporated is also very important here, as they're a DeFi subsidiary that has been doing some really incredible stuff in response to the larger attacks on crypto inside of the United States. And that's why Valor has created ETFs for the crypto industry and has one of the only licenses in Europe to create new ETPs, which are like ETFs in the United States. Their stock is at $1 as their current valuation is at $3, according to some financial analysts. This company has a lot of profit, it has a lot of growth. They have nearly $1 billion in assets under new management, and according to a lot of people, the upside is just ridiculous. As of course, they were trading at a $300 million market cap, which according to some analysts should be at $1 billion, as they also just announced a buyback program. This, as if you're an investor or have a trading account, it might be worth looking into. This particular company has, of course, on a recent earnings call, Russell Starr, the head of capital markets for DeFi Technologies, said this about its stock.
Therein lies the opportunity from an ownership perspective and why you should be buying the stock. But it creates a lot of fear in our heads, at least it doesn't mine, because I've said this repeatedly, between Ollie Johan, friends, family, me, friends, family, and very, very closely related parties, we control probably 120 million shares. We're not looking for $3 on this stock or $4, especially in an environment that we're looking at now. We're looking at 8 to 10, which sounds far-fetched, but 5, 6, 7 is where we should be trading just on a reasonable comp basis. And that's not me making things up. Just go look at what all of the other crypto companies are trading for. And I'm not sure any of them are profitable. They're trading on revenue multiples.
And with the changing environments, this is why when this company came to us and said, hey, tell our story to your audience, work with us, I was like, yeah, absolutely, as I think it's a win-win for everyone. We're always very open and transparent with who we work with, and I think this is the way kind of forward, especially in this particular space that I've been involved in for a very long time, as of course we were telling you guys about Bitcoin when it was still a few dollars. You're welcome. And right now, especially with the larger political shift, I do see larger opportunities out there that I think the space has never had before. And if you agree with me, share this video with your friends and family members. And of course, the show doesn't stop here. We got one more members video coming out right now and a 6 p.m. podcast episode here on this particular channel coming out in just a few hours from now. We'll see you there. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys subscribing, clicking the notification button, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.